Hello and welcome, a very warm welcome to Tootique TV. This is the launch day of a brand new YouTube TV channel brought to you by Tootique. And on Tootique TV, what you'll be seeing every month will be a very warm welcome to Tootique. Launch day. What we'll be seeing on here every month is fibre bites crafts. Now, it could be needle felting, it could be sewing, it could be embroidery, but each month you will get the chance to see new products that are brought to you by Tootique and to purchase them online after the show. Ask any question that you want about needle felting, about the crafts. We'll have special guests coming up, and everything you need to know about the crafts that you know and love surrounding fibre. So in today's show, we're going to be launching 3 brand new products that the fibre alchemist herself, Stephanie Lester, has put together for you. And I'm going to give you a little brief snippet, a little brief intro into those now. So first of all, we have a little fellow here. This is Orpheus the Octopus. Who doesn't love an octopus? Eh? So this is a cracking little creature here with little legs that you can move around here. Now, Orpheus is one of the special kits that Steph has now designed. She'll be telling you more about why these 3 kits we're launching today are so special. And this one here comes, as they all do, in their own little recyclable bag here. No fancy boxes for this range. And he is only £14. And that includes all the fibres that you need to make Orpheus the Octopus. Now, who doesn't love a giraffe? This little giraffe here, there he is. Jeffrey the giraffe, isn't he? You just want to stroke him, don't you? Now, he is a fair old size. Now, Jeffrey Giraffe is, again, in his own little bag here. And he retails to you at just £18. So Jeffrey Giraffe, everything you need, all the fibres you need to make Jeffrey is for just £18. And finally, a special little one here is Harriet, the moon-gazing hare. Just look at that. Wouldn't you just love that to be hanging in your house there? Beautiful blues in there and the little silvery moon hanging up there. And Harriet, the moon-gazing hare, for you is just £20. Or you can buy all 3, so you can have Harriet, you can have Jeffrey the giraffe, and you can have Orpheus the octopus for just £45. They would normally retail at £52. So, who designed all these? Who's put all this together? Well, let's go over now and we'll meet the fibre alchemist herself, Stephanie Lester. Hi, Steph.
Hello, hello, hello.
How are you doing? All right.
I'm good. I'm just going to very briefly apologise to those who logged on and heard the echo. Oh, hello, Steve. I can hear yours in the background. You need to turn that off.
Okay. How are you doing? All right.
I'm just going to very briefly apologise. Okay, we can still hear, I think. Is it coming through on your...
I'm getting some feedback from the broadcast somehow. I don't know why that's happening.
Okay. I don't know, you haven't got it live on your team. I'm sorry about this, everybody. But there was some feedback, which I've put it through my earphones now, and it should all be good. But I wasn't quite sure.
There we are. I think I've sorted it out now, my end.
Lovely.
Is that better from your point of view?
Yeah, certainly good from my point of view.
That's it, yes. I've sorted out. Technical hitch, but with first shows, always happens. But we're still going. We keep going.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. GMTV had the same problems, apparently.
Yes. So, Steph, I've just given people a brief intro to these kits. Now, first of all, let's go back and talk a little bit about why we're putting together Tootique TV.
Yes. So we thought, what a great idea. Well, firstly, it's like all things. There's always one idea which brings something to life. And we did start creating the kits. And then we thought, actually, why don't we create a whole TV station to actually not just talk about our kits, but to talk about other people's kits and fibre. And, there are so many creatives in our world. Why not? Let's have our own TV. Because we all moan about what's on telly, don't we? So let's make our own TV station.
The great thing is, as you just mentioned there, is we are not just restricting it to Tootique. I mean, you produce a whole range of amazing products, amazing kits, but we want to encourage other people to join us on Tootique TV I know you've got a very close association with the Crafty Kit Company, so we'll be getting Joe on board and other people that do kits and do products related to fibre sculpture and fibre crafts.
Absolutely. And, you know, I think like I've been in the craft world where I've actually bought things and done lots. And it's really good to actually understand about the people behind. Because, you know, it's like me bringing out my new kits. Why? What's your reason behind it? And it's like when you actually hear somebody talk about what they do and why they do it, I don't know why, when you're actually doing those kits and when you're doing those items, it has kind of more meaning to it. And yeah, you feel like you're there with them doing it. And with this day and age where we can actually all come live on TV, why not?
Absolutely. I mean, it's a great idea, and I love being involved with it. The thing today that makes this particular launch broadcast so important is these 3 new products that you're bringing out today, launching them today. First time anybody would have seen them and able to buy them, but they're not just your run-of-the-mill normal fibre sculpture kit. So I'm going to leave you now to tell us all about what is special about Jeffrey, Harriet, and probably my favourite is Orpheus.
Orpheus.
So I'll leave it in your capable hands, the fibre alchemist.
Here we go. Over to me. As we always like to say, it's all about me, but not really. So let me, I shall bring my little Jeffrey, Harriet hair, and also Orpheus. Now, I'm also going to explain that all of the kits that you get, they all come in recyclable packaging, and I don't, no, this is going to feel this is odd, I'm telling you what's not included in it. So I don't include the needles or the little felting mats, because there's an awful lot of us which do an awful lot of kits, and every time we get those items in and we don't necessarily need them. So it seems sensible to me that if I bring the kits out, but I also offer you a little starter pack, which looks very lovely in its little red packaging, which includes the needles and the little mats, and also a nice card telling you all about the needles. So you can have that as a little extra. So for instance, if you bought all 3, you could just buy one of the little starter packs, which includes all those pieces for you, which I thought that's the way. I suppose what I've done is I've done it as in this is the way that I would actually buy. So, you know, once again, all about me, really. So let me tell you a little bit more about the sculptures themselves. So they range from my, oh, actually, doesn't he look good against my yellow shirt, Orpheus? I should probably carry him around a bit more, really, shouldn't I? That purple and that, that's lovely. So yeah, Orpheus with his little starfish friend. So he's what I call the smaller, definitely a great beginner, because there's no, I mean, you could put pipe cleaners in there if you wanted to, but there are no pipe cleaners required, but he's still very poseable. But the really important thing are the fibres. Okay, so the fibres, I'm just going to put these little chaps down a sec so that I can show you. The core fibre, look at this, isn't that gorgeous? Isn't that lovely and fluffy? Recycled plastic bottles. How marvellous is that? And it felts really, really hard and really, really lovely. And in fact, from that point of view, you don't need a really, really strong needle. You can use, if you're new to needle felting, that may not mean anything to you, but don't worry, everything is explained in the instructions that you get in the kit. So in the instructions in the kit, you get all the text on the side and all the pictures on the other, and explains everything that you need to know as you go along. So don't worry. Plus, I've also put together little videos of me showing you along the way, which will be up on YouTube for you to pop in and out of. So it'll feel like you're felting with me, hopefully. That's the idea. So the core is going to be made up of recycled plastic bottles, and then these gorgeous colours. Look at these. I'm going to pick up some of them actually, because they're just glorious. Look at them, all these bio nylon. Now, I don't know if many people understand that nylon itself comes from, the enzyme to make nylon comes from the petrochemical industry. So bio nylon is where the enzyme comes from plants. So that's what puts the bio into the bio nylon. But they dye, these fabrics dye absolutely gorgeously, fabulous colours. So gorgeous colours to choose from, and it actually looks very and feels very much like a merino, but felt's better. But this, I don't know if this comes across. Does this come across, Steve, that it's shiny? Can you see that?
Yes, it does.
There's
Absolutely.
Brilliant. So this is the bamboo fibres. So, and it's got that gorgeous, gorgeous shimmer in. So we add that to add that effect of that shiny. So all of the kits either have, well, they have a bit of both actually, all of them, because for our gorgeous giraffe, he's got a bit of bamboo in his mane there. So they've all got core wool of recycled plastic bottles, and then the top coat that we put on in the colours is bio nylon and bamboo. So the idea here is I've had plenty of people come up to me at shows and say either, you know, I've chosen not to have animal fibres in my life, could be because they're vegan, could be just because they're actually allergic to the fibres. There are many, many reasons. Also, some people actually want to make a lovely present for somebody who's actually either allergic to the fibres or has chosen not to have those fibres in their life. And there just aren't the kits around for people to actually choose and do. So I thought, well, I like using every fibre under the sun, but I recently made a lovely sea turtle, which I made out of core recycled plastic bottles and all the colours, and I thought, why, everyone loved it, and I thought, why don't we make some fabulous kits? And the word I think I like to use is for inclusivity, because why don't we who do needle felting are addicted to it? So why don't we bring more people into our world? Because we just love, don't we, anybody who's involved in crafts, don't we just love to share our craft with everybody? So that's kind of like my different vibe on it. But as I say, all of the packaging is recyclable. That the kits themselves don't include the needles or the pads, but you can get them from me as well. And all of these today newly available on the Tootique. I know I'm covering up Toot, but Tootique.co.uk on the website. And there's a nice graphic on the front page that you can click on or go straight through to the shop. And Steve, is it a good time?
Can I just say we're having a few nice comments coming through from people on here.
And
yeah, all the people love the three wonderful animals you've got there. But Fiona says she really appreciates the starter pack being separate rather than having the possibly unwanted elements in the kit. I think that's really important, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. And the little, I'll just show you, because this is what's actually in the kits, because we've got basically there are 6 needles, 3 different varieties, so 2 of the different ones, and they range from, as I say, if you've needle felted before, this will mean something to you. They're a size 36, 38 and 40. But what that means is small, medium and large to anybody else who doesn't. And the little pads, they're actually recycled plastic as well. But once again, as I'm with Fiona, which is why I have lots of these about if you don't actually need them. Because I think once we actually get into a craft, we then start getting the more permanent parts, don't they? So if you've been needle felting for a while, you'll have your own pad, because we all have our favourite little surface that we like to actually, you know, felt on. So then you wouldn't need them. So you can buy needles separately from anywhere, but from my point of view, if someone's buying a gift for somebody, you know, and it's a new, then you might want to buy the starter pack with it. But if you know they're a needle felter and they're just going to have great fun with it, then you won't want to get them the starter pack. So brilliant. Yes, I agree with you, Fiona. It's great not to have waste. So anybody else got any comments there, Steve, or are we?
No, just everybody. Cindy thinks they're all lovely. So does Sally and Sammy. So yeah, lots of love coming in for these. And why wouldn't people love those little animals? They are just fabulous, fabulous, fabulous. But the what I'm always amazed about is when you talk about, I know you've got bamboo fiber there, but there are so many other plants that produce fibers that you can use in needle felting, isn't there?
I know, it's the nettles. In fact, there's a lady, if you're in the UK, there's a lady who's in Farnham in the UK, and she does whole courses, and she takes you into the countryside to actually pick the nettles. And someone will have to correct me if I'm wrong, but the fibre that comes from there is actually called raime, R-A-I-M-E, I believe. But it's made from the fibres. So basically you go around and you pick the nettles. She shows you how to take the fibres out, dry them, and in her case, spin them and actually presumably knit into something, which is, you know, or crochet, whichever is your want. But yeah, I mean, it's rose fibres. I mean, everybody always says roses, and it's in the stem. And if you actually, Steve, coming from a gardening background, will tell us, if you open up the stalk of something like roses, it's very fibrous, isn't it?
Absolutely. And the colours you can get by the dyeing process
Mm.
with rose fibres, I was amazed
Yeah.
at how silky they are as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's the great thing. As I say, the great thing about kits is it tells you everything to do and gives you all of the colours and instructions to create these. But when you get a little bit adventurous, you'll start mixing fibres. So that's what my hope is to try and introduce these fibres to you. And then hopefully you get on and play. And things like the rose fibres, I mean, I used it in a hummingbird. Well, we all know about the shimmeriness of a hummingbird, don't we, when we actually want to get those effects all into feathers. And so, yeah, we all like in anything, in any craft, be it even, well, I say craft, any art even, you know, you always want to get textures, don't you? It's that mixed media. Well, here, we can actually add other mediums if we want to, but we've got such a large palette to choose from in just the fibres. So is it worth, Steve, me mentioning about the launch offer?
I think it is, but just before you do that, Sam has said that the lady that does the nettle fibre course is just down the road from her, so she'll check her out.
Fantastic.
And Fiona's asking, how do you get the underlying shape and structure for Jeffrey the giraffe?
Oh, bless him. Yes, lovely Jeffrey. Pipe cleaners is what I'm going to say to you. So, and that's, once again, I'm going to just lift up my little instructions here and see. Basically, you can probably, hopefully see where we start to gather together the pipe cleaners. We always twist two together for some strength, and then we start wrapping the fibres around to start creating that leg shape, and in the end we go down until we start to get this little body, and it just builds up around. But as you can see, little pictures all the way along. Some people get a bit
Can I just
Oh,
interject?
yeah.
So can I just interject to say, going back to your instruction booklets there, the great thing about them is all the instructions are on exactly the same pages as the little diagrams that you did to go with them. I think quite often when you get instruction booklets, you've got the instructions, you have to page down to try and find the appropriate figure A, B, C, and D. But you've gone to a lot of trouble there in making sure that the images are on the same page.
Yeah, and I liked the idea of opening up, so you could actually have a clipboard, couldn't you, and put your little, because this is A5 booklet but opened up to A4. So if you've got a little A4 clip, boom, and then you've got the whole thing to go up and down. But yes, all of these pictures relate to this text. So yeah, no flicking through.
And what level of experience would you say these kits are for, too?
Well, I mean, they are all beginners could do all of them, but I would say if you've not done any before at all, then Orpheus, our octopus, is the best one, because there's no pipe cleaners or anything involved in that. And people get nervous.
Oh, there isn't? Oh, right.
No. You'd think so, wouldn't you, with these? But no, absolutely not. And that's one thing which I absolutely love about our recycled plastic bottles, because you can make quite thin tendrils here, and they're quite solid, because the recycled plastic bottles, it felts really hard really quickly, so you'll very quickly get quite a strong, and I mean, I can bend these all about and pose them, and there's no pipe cleaner in there at all. Obviously, if you wanted a pipe cleaner or you wanted to make it slightly bigger, because this, as you can see, is just sitting in my hand, I have actually got, I'm just going to go slightly off screen and pick up a larger one. Here we go. I made a bigger one. And he hasn't got any pipe cleaners either. So, you know, you can actually go quite large without putting pipe cleaners in, which is good. But the giraffe here, as I say, he's got pipe cleaners, but the hair, there we go, he's got his nice little moon that he's gazing at. Now here, once again, no pipe cleaners, but obviously you've got to make some ears, which you make slightly differently. So I would suggest that you would, if you're a complete beginner, you can start with Orpheus. I would suggest you do the giraffe, then, because Jeffrey, that then gets you used to using the pipe cleaners. Don't be scared of the pipe cleaners. Some people get really nervous about, because obviously there's some metal in the middle and the stabbing of the needle, but you just with the core wool that we're using here, you'll find it fairly easy to do. I say fairly easy because everything is a learning curve, isn't it? But once again, there'll be videos to help show you all the way through. And then I would suggest that the hair is the one that you would then go up to, because there's a bit of shaping, there's a bit of how big shall I do that, and making of decisions. And I always think you need a little bit of confidence. And I think it is more confidence than it is necessarily skill, because if you've got the confidence to give it a go, it's amazing where that actually gets you. And he's well, Harriet, I should say, she's sitting in her little vine wreath, and to attach her, and it's included in the kit, there's a little piece of wire which just goes around it, so which holds her on, because then she's nice and secure, basically, and then she's hung up and ready to go.
So have you done the instruction videos already for these? Are they up online?
So I've done them, and they're not quite up online yet because I'm just doing the last little bit of editing, but by the time anybody receives their kits that they order, they will be up online. And in fact, in the on the back of the instructions, it gives you the link to go to get. So the link is all there, and you can, and they'll be there by the time you get these.
So you're offering a lot of backup for this. So if someone hasn't needle felted before, you've got the instruction booklet, which is comprehensive. It's laid out beautifully. You've got the videos, but you've also got your Tootique tips and tricks Facebook page that people can join, haven't they? And
yeah, so the Facebook group, Tootique's, gosh, I can't even remember what it's called now. Tootique tips and tutorials. Tootique's tips and tutorials. That's my favorite. But yeah, absolutely. So you can say log on to YouTube, watch the videos at item. If you're someone who just likes instructions, you've got those to go through. And then if you've got any questions, you can come into the Facebook group. You just need to request to join it, and it's not an issue. You don't have to have bought a kit to come into that group. So I will let anybody in who's a crafter. So come in there and ask any questions and share. And, you know, at the end of the day, if you feel a bit nervous about asking your questions, you can actually message me. You don't have to do it in the group, because I know we always think we've got silly questions, don't we? And there are no such thing as silly questions, because we're all immensely relieved when someone else asks it. But in case you are, then, you know, you can always just message me.
And the nice thing about these animals is that some of it can be down to your own interpretation, particularly the markings on the giraffe. Yes,
and in fact, well spotted. In the back of
no
the
pun
booklet.
intended.
Oh yes, boom, well spotted. Is I've actually put some different giraffe patterns in the back of the booklet, because yes, I mean, I think we can get a bit hung up sometimes about, is this symmetrical, is this exactly right? There's no such thing as a symmetrical face. Human, animal, well, we are an animal, aren't we? Any animal. There's no such thing as a wrong or a right. Your interpretation, if you like it, it's perfect. And that's all you need to do and the next time you do one, you'll do it differently. But if you want to, I mean, I am someone that when I do my art pieces, I like to be immensely accurate, and I make a decision as to which giraffe I was going to be doing. But I certainly didn't with Jeffrey. I just decided he had a personality, and that was what I was going to bring out. Look at that face. Look at that face.
That based on me, by any chance?
Have you got little tufts like that?
Who knows what I have?
That will be telling, wouldn't it? That will be telling. But
yes.
And Jeffrey does have pipe cleaners in his legs, and that's purely in this case because obviously he's longer limbs. And whilst with our octopus we can make those limbs and dress them and move them, they don't have to support little Orpheus, whereas Jeffrey has to be supported by them, so that's why it was much better to actually put. But we have actually got pipe cleaner in the neck and pipe cleaners in the legs to support him. But there's no pipe cleaners at all. And the other little, there are little suggestions as well, because not included in the pack, but you can get lots of bio glitter these days, and you could, because obviously the moon's shining on your little hair, you might want to add some little glitter and things like that. So there's little suggestions like that. And that's the sort of thing that we talk about in the Facebook groups as well, so where someone shows their make and you think, oh, I hadn't thought of doing that, which is why it's a great community to share, basically, which is, you know, once
and that's
again,
what you encourage people to do, isn't it? You
Yeah.
encourage people to put up photographs of their makes,
Yes.
because, you know, it's important that they're proud of what they produce.
Yeah, and at every stage, you know, because I think sometimes there was a couple of groups recently where, you know, things were called beginners groups, and then other people went in and said, oh, that piece isn't a beginner piece. Well, you know, that person may have moved on, but don't judge yourself by somebody else's. You know, if this is your first piece, put it up and be proud. You know, if you want some advice or you want to do, you know, the eye slightly different, then by all means ask. But it's a lovely journey, isn't it? When we all like to look back, don't we, at where we started and things. And what better way than you've actually got your pictures up on the Facebook group and everybody can join in with you in that. And all of the communities that I belong to, and you mentioned Jo and the Crafty Kit Company early, and I actually belong to her community as well. Really, really supportive. And, you know, everybody has something nice to say about everybody, because everybody should be encouraged.
They should, and I think that's very important. But also, because these kits are totally inclusive now, so people, whether you're vegan or whether you're allergic to wool, they can all take part. And as far as I know, in the UK at least, these are the only non-wool kits available like this.
Yes, there is a Japanese company which does some kits which are lovely, lovely little cats and things. But as far as I'm aware, this is the first UK based. Yeah.
So now's the time to plug them to sell. Go on. Give it that marketing. Give it the plug it deserves.
So, as I say, you can buy the kits on tootique.co.uk, and as individuals, our little Orpheus is 14, our Jeffrey Giraffe is 18, and our Hare is 20. But for the launch offer, we're offering all three for £45 within the UK. That includes postage. And if you go on to tootique.co.uk, that offer is there as a bulk offer. You're enjoying Jeffrey there.
Jeffrey loves that. Look, he's very, very keen. Very keen for someone to be able to make him and his friends for that wonderful offer price there, isn't he? But they are great. They are wonderful. They're very tactile, aren't they? I know they're not toys, so we must make that clear.
No,
they're not toys. But they're very tactile, aren't they? They're very. There's something about the feel of different fibres that make them very tactile. And when you're making them, I know you've been making them things for a long time like this, but it's a very tactile, a very enjoyable hobby to have.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, we all remember the days when we had our little dolls with hair and everything. And whilst you know you can't pull the hair and brush profusely, you can still dress your hair, dress the hair of the, you know, the various animals, which is, you know, absolutely gorgeous. And I have to say, you know, wouldn't it be lovely, just, I was going to say a herd of giraffe, but actually a collective of giraffes, I believe, is called a tower. How cool
is it really a tower of giraffes?
I believe it's a tower of giraffes.
A tower of, well, very appropriate, that, isn't it? A tower of giraffes, but beautiful.
Absolutely.
And I love the fact that you've gone for the contrasting colours here. They're really sort of reflecting the sunset, probably in the Serengeti or something like that.
Oh yeah. But I'm also all for, you know, going slightly psychedelic. I mean, I had I've got tango, and I think I even did a Beyonce one with some pink.
Oh yes. When you were making that, we would sing every single lady, all the single ladies, didn't we, or something? All the single giraffes.
There we go.
Have you got them there? But yeah, as Steph said, you can, of course, adapt this, and you may have some other coloured wool that you'd like to use, other fibres that you'd like to use instead of the purple. It's entirely up to you. But once you've got this pattern, once you've got the instructions, even if you've used up the wool that came with the kit, you can always buy some more, because you'll get addicted to this, I promise you.
Oh, it most certainly is addictive, and so that really we should put a warning on all of the kits. This is addictive.
Yes.
You will be hiding your stash from your husband when or even your wife when the kits come through, or the extra fibers start coming through. Absolutely.
Yes, I do feel like a fibre widower sometimes,
Well, I've got it everywhere. You have, decided I can't bring it into the house, which is fair enough.
Yes. Well, myself and Dyson decided you couldn't bring it to the house.
Yeah, Dyson haven't actually brought a Hoover out for me yet, have they?
No. I've changed the filter so often.
Yeah, absolutely. So yes, so it will be fabulous. So say this is like the launch weekend. So by all means, pop on over to if you've got any questions about any of this and want to ask me, then well, on tootique.co.uk, you've got all of the contact details and everything anyway. And as I say, the Facebook and even here, I mean, we've got the messaging here on YouTube, haven't we? So yes, absolutely.
Yep. And we'll be announcing in the next couple of weeks what we'll be having on the next Tootique TV show, which will be in the middle of June. So subscribe, like, comment. Any more comments before we go here? Christine said she loves the instruction format. Well, I mean, you work long and hard on getting that right. And Cindy said, do you ship internationally?
I do ship internationally, yes. The great thing about needle felting is it's very light. And also the
yes,
packaging
course,
is very light. And because of the packaging, which is in bags, it can actually go quite squished, and doesn't hurt it at all. And in fact, I always say whenever you receive a kit of whatever type, shake out the fibres anyway, because they would have got, compacted a bit. But yes, absolutely, I do ship internationally. I include the free postage for the UK, but for the launch issue, I will actually include it internationally if you buy all 3 kits. There you go.
Wow. So that is a great offer to have, isn't it, folks? If you buy all 3 kits of £45, you can get that even if you live internationally away from the UK. You can still get this wonderful offer today. And how long is this offer on for the 3 kits?
Okay, so the 3 kits offer is going to be on for 7 days.
7 days. So 7 days. Go onto the website, have a look at the comments, and you will see the details of the links to use to get these kits. And of course, presents all the year round. There's always someone to buy a present for. There's always a birthday coming up. And
absolutely.
Not to put too much of a female slant, there's Father's Day coming up in the UK. I mean, I tell you what, I would have liked to have made one of these. If someone bought me a kit for Father's Day, great. Who does love it?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Brilliant. Well, thank you, folks. Thank you. I think I think we've gone over everything that we could have done in this first show, haven't we?
I think so. I think we've covered it all.
So thank you so much, everybody, for joining us on Tootique TV for the launch. Sorry for the little technical hitch at the start. I will put my hands up now, as I did in the comments, to say it was my fault. But there we are. But I hope that you... Oh, we got another message coming through. Ruth says, lovely to see you today. Step-by-step tutorial instructions are much appreciated. The needle felting tips on your videos, Steph, have greatly helped me since beginning my felting journey.
I love
someone
that.
on a felting journey. There we are.
That.
Thank you, Ruth. What a lovely message to end this first program on Tootique TV. So join us again in 4 weeks' time for another wonderful felting session with the fibre alchemist Stephanie Lester and myself, Steve Brooks.